Good morning, everybody. We're going to take a look at web forms, which is a new way of building inspection forms or inventory forms using in Geosync Go Plus. So this is new capability, and this functionality has to be added to your account. It should already be present in your account as we get into this. If you find that you don't have the forms option and you want to play with that, you just need to contact technical support. We'll make sure that it gets turned on for your account. Web forms work only with Geosync Go Plus, so it's a little different. It does not work in the Geosync Go mobile or Geosync Go desktop workflows. It's only available in Geosync Go Plus, so it requires a connected environment. It only works in that app or through the web map. Web forms provides an enhancement to our standard workflow forms. It really works the same way as all of our workflows has, but it does provide some new interface options and tools, and it also provides an improved performance in terms of updating and map refresh. The forms themselves are completely managed from Geosync Go Plus, from the browser or the application, so you don't have to have the desktop at all in order to be able to update and create forms for data capture. So if you're in your Geosync Go Plus account, and what you should see this forms option available. And again, this is an add-on to the Geosync Go Plus account. So if you don't see that, contact our tech support. We'll make sure that gets added to your account. It should currently be available. But when you go into the account screen, you should see forms available as an option. So the way this works is, for forms, it's fairly straightforward. You select forms. You have the option, a new option, and when you click new, it opens up and gives you the ability to create a new form. Some of the very basics related that you need for a form, one is you need to already have a source set, and what you'll end up with is you'll set the name. You're going to have to set the source of the data to populate the form. You need a destination, so when you save the form, you want to know where that data is going to go, what source is going to get updated. And then there's also this option, this method option, which is defaults to overwrite, and we need to click the add button and add that as an option. There is an append option there, which is an advanced feature and provides some tracking of edit history to your source. You have to add resources for that. That's another topic that we'll get into. But for now, to create a new web form, you use the overwrite method. Some of the benefit to the web forms above what we already had, in addition to some better performance, is you have some different options for interface, some different interface options. And some of those, I won't go through all of those, but some of those, obviously we have a text box that we've always had, and we have a drop down which works pretty much the same way. We have a list, but you now can do check boxes. So if you wanted to do a to-do list where you check off options, you can do a number of check boxes. There's a switch option. That would be a yes, no, or true or false, on or off type switch. Which is nice. You can also set up a field that only allows you to enter numbers. There's also an autocomplete field, and this is helpful because if you have a large list of items, as an example, if you wanted to enter the construction company, and you have a master list of those construction companies, then you could go ahead and paste that in, and then when you start typing, it'll go out and search those matches for you. And then you can also type a new text into that box, but you can also have a large list that will autocomplete as you start typing. And then there's multiple choice options, which give you an option. Instead of just a drop down, you actually get a set of radio buttons that you can actually pick from a number of options. So do a little scenario here with the new web form so you can see how it works. So to get started, we already have to have a source created. We have to have added that source to the Geosync Go Plus environment, we need to create a layer from that source, and then we've got the layer added to our map. Now that source might be a blank source. There's no data in it, so we're going to capture, or it could be that we're going to populate in some existing data. Then what we would do, once the source is there, then we can design our web form, and then we add the web form to the project itself, so it would be available for us to use on the mobile device. So here's an example that we can look at. This is an outfall inventory, and the idea here is we're going to go visit a set of outfall inventories, and we just want to inventory the location. So we want to capture some basic information about those outfalls. So in this case, I've already created a source and a layer, so I've got some outfalls that I've already populated in, so I can see those on the map. And then I create a web form for the inventory process that has the information that I want to capture. And I'm going to visit each outfall, and then I'm going to update the inventory information. And the way we've set this example up, the color on the symbol is going to change based on the condition that we're going to set, which if the symbol is black, it means we haven't visited that outfall yet. If it's green, it means it's in good condition. If it's red, it's in poor condition. So let's take a look at this example. So the first thing let's just see what the result of this is. So again, we have a map, and we've got our outfalls, and we've got names on those outfalls we can see, and our task is to go visit those outfalls. So if we're at the golf course outfall, we select that feature, and then we're going to do a new collection, and we can leave this menu open. Here's our web outfall inventory. This is our new web form, and we open it up, and we can see some new options here that are available. One, this goes ahead and pre-populates in my outfall ID, and this is a text box. I have an inventory date that I can use here, so I can open this up with a calendar, and I can pick the date. In this case, this is the inventory date, the date I'm going to visit. And then in outfall type, instead of doing a combo box or a drop-down list, in this case I have a set of options, just radio buttons that I can pick from. So it's much easier to see the options, and I select the one that's appropriate. So in this case, this is a head wall. And then outfall type, well, that's the outfall type. And then I did a to-do list. So I've got some check boxes just to remind me of the things that I'm supposed to do when I'm there, and I need to check those off so I make sure that they're done. I need to measure the size, I need to rate the condition, and then I need to take a picture. So I just need to make sure that all those things have been done. And then I'm going to, here, as I rate the condition, I can pick what that is. In this case, the condition of this outfall is poor, and I can save. And now I've completed that inspection. Now I'm ready to go to the next outfall, and you'll see here that this one's already turned color, so it's now red, which means it's in poor condition. And I'm ready to go to the next, select the next web form, and this is the Blazer outfall, and I can select the date. This is a culvert, and I'm going to make sure that I've done these items, and this one is in good condition, and then we can save that. And now we're ready to move on to the next. And once I get here, this one's already changed over to blue. So now as I'm visiting these, I can see they change color, and I know which ones I've actually inventoried and which ones are left to do. So let's take a look now at how we built this form. So I'm going to go back to the account. All this has to happen from the account. So here's our forms option. In this case, I have a number of forms that have already been created. If I want to do a new form, I just click New. I give it a name. I have to give it a source, and here's a list of all the available sources that I have. In this case, I use my web outfalls. And then I'm going to use the same destination, and for basic applications of these forms, you're going to have the source and the destination will be the same. And then we have an override method, and we have to set that override method, and we have to click Add, and that says at this point on the web outfalls, when we if it's a new outfall, we want it to create a new record, but if it is an existing outfall, we want it to overwrite the feature record. So we're doing the inventory. We're not creating new outfalls. We want to update the existing record. So then I could save that. I can begin to add fields. So if I'm building this form from scratch, I add a field, pick the type of field. In this case, we'll pick this to be a switch. And there's a new field. We can edit that field, give it a name, and this is visible. And we can pick the source field. I don't have a source field to go along with this, but if we pick this, the destination field, and then we can set what we want the off label to be, off being no, on being yes. And close this, and now we've got a switch, which would show up on our form. If we want to add another field, we can add a text box, select and edit the text box, and this will be ID, and I'm going to use outfall ID. And now I've created a text box and a switch. If I want this to be at the top, I can use the arrow to move up or down the list, and then if I save this will become a new form called new form. I'm not going to save this one. I'm going to go back to my forms, and I'm actually going to look at the one that I created, the web outfall inventory that we just looked at a minute ago. I'm going to edit this one so we can see how it's been built. So in this case, the web outfall inventory, this is the name of the form. I have my source and destination, which are the same. My method is override, and I've added that down here into this list. So what's important here, you got to click the Add button to actually add that into this option. And then here's my my actual form that I've created. So here I have a text box. We have a date option. So if I look at this, I can come in. This is the inventory date, and it's a date field, and I can set that date field so that it'll either default to the current date or it'll default to a blank date. And then we have our multiple choice outfall type. Let's take a look at that. We edit that. We can see, again, we have the label, the source, the destination, and then here are our options. And if we need to create a new option, we can just click down here, go to the bottom. We have a new option, and we'll call this manhole. And you can have a label and a value. The value is what gets written to the database. We'll come back to that. Now you would see our form now has another option called manhole at this list. And then I had a checkbox that I set, which is just a list. In this case, I just wanted to use that as a to-do list, which just reminds me of the things that I'm supposed to do. But again, this works the same way. We set up the source field, and then we can create options to fill out what options we want to show up on that. The to-do list actually writes a comma-delimited string into the database field. There's a field in my source called to-do list. We just got to make sure that has a sufficient amount of characters to be able to capture all of those options. And then here we have a drop-down, which is similar to what we've done before. If we edit that, we'll see that, again, we set up the label, the source field, the destination field, and then we have our options. We can add an option or we can remove an option from here, and these will show up as in a combo box. Well, let's go ahead and add another field, and I'm going to go ahead and add a paragraph field. This will be a field that we can take notes in, and I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to give this comment field, and then we can save. We'll go back to our project, and we'll come back and work on this particular outfall. Go to our inventory, and we see now we have a new option manhole. The condition in this case is poor, and now we have a comment box that we can type into. And then save. And again, the color has changed. So this is our example for our web forms, the new forms that we put together. And you should have this option now available in your Geosync Go Plus account. And again, if you have questions or you have ideas for new webinars, give us contact us. Let us know. Thanks.